Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes. I'm Tom Malone and I'm joined this week by Shane Mann from our sponsors Ladbrokes. Jukie's back in midfield and Johnny Ward beside me as well. How are we? You okay?
Jukie's back.
Jukie's back.
Jukie is back. You know, it's just great to be here with him again.
How are you? Johnny, we'll start with you. Because, you know, there's a Limerick person in the room as well. He gets the big, hey, how are you? And you get the head tilt, how are you?
I had a bad week, which mildly improved when I discovered that Michael Mulvihill, a.k.a. Scorpion, was still alive.
Oh, okay.
Because I actually fancy a horse trained by Eric McNamara at 33 to 1 in Killarney this evening. But I put it to a fellow Limerick man and he goes, yeah, I wouldn't be mad about Eric Mack's horses at the moment. Like, he's been celebrating as well, you know. So
Okay.
like, everyone in Limerick, like, there must have been mass robberies this week. Everyone was just partying.
No, they were
like,
celebrating too.
Yeah, well,
90,000 at the Gaelic grounds or something like that.
I didn't even know they were, you know, but couldn't begrudge them in fairness, you know. We didn't hurl.
Okay. Jukie, how are you? What have you been up to? I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. You've been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, well, relatively busy, I suppose. Yeah, I was away. I was away in England last week. So always interesting.
No drama?
Well, a slight drama on the way over with an aborted landing.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was like hen's teeth, but apparently it's not.
Oh, okay.
But my it's always time for taking stock. I find when I'm walking through airports.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm conscious that I'm missing out on my life's mission. I mean, much as I enjoy sitting next to Johnny or what have you, but like.
I'm Shane.
Yeah. No, everyone. I mean, I enjoy
Tom, actually.
I enjoy this, but essentially I'm wasting time on what I was put on this earth to do.
Which was?
Well, to run for elected office.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Social Democrats?
Well, it'll be just a one-issue party. I'm just going to run for...
Bad each way?
No, I'm just going to run for Mayor of Dublin and install travellators all over the city.
Okay.
Oh, I absolutely love those travellators. You get such value for your stride, don't you?
Oh, the yokes.
Oh, you're making ground as you're walking.
Well, I try to quicken past them on the conventional walk.
Mugs game.
Yeah.
It's like the galloping up the hill, just get you fitter. Like.
Okay, so Jukie, this is your first step in your launch of a campaign to become Lord Mayor of Dublin based on installing travellators everywhere.
Oh yes, hello voters. Just mull that one over for the week.
It reminds me of Homer Simpson going for the sanitation, commissioner, and basically he was just like crackpot candidate but got elected.
Well,
listen,
crackpot candidate. We let the voters decide on that one.
There's plenty of fun.
I would vote for you, like genuinely. Even
you
if
got at least 8 votes straight away.
Even
right,
if you're
in this room.
Corporal punishment, like get rid of all the immigrants, all of that, I would still vote for you, just for the travelator.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because you do hear occasionally these candidates that wasn't there a guy in Limerick once and he got 8 votes and he couldn't understand because he had 9 brothers and sisters. I think that's a pretty sick guy.
Your dad would vote for you, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, no, I'd get more than 8 votes.
You would, yeah.
Okay.
I think this room alone would give you around 10.
Yeah.
And spread the word.
Right, we'll spread the word on what's the word. Right, let's get on to the Saturday action. Of course, the highlight of the weekend is the Ybor. Shane, I'm sure you got plenty of enhanced place terms and the like. Give us the market.
Absolutely, Tom. Just first off the bat, 5 places each way to 50 odds here. You're going to need it as well. Very open renewal. Stratham currently 7-2 market leader. Blakeney Point in at 13-2. 7-1 Whiskey Sour. 10-1 Nikita, last year's winner. Weekender 12-1 who I fancy in the rest. 12-1 Crown Legal. 14 Spar.
Okie doke. 7-2, the favourite for the Ybor. Discuss, Brendan Duke.
Well, it feels short. I mean, you're reluctant to take on Willie Mullins on the flat this season. I mean, in general, but particularly this season, he's just mustered. 7-2 does look short, but he bolted up the last time. He's well drawn, but it just. I went through the race and it's completely impossible. I can't rule any of the horses out. So how could a horse be 7-2? That's what I'm basing my.
Would he have had many runners since he won it back in 2009?
Sesenta,
yeah. I don't think he would have, would he?
He's had runners, obviously not many.
Sorry, runners in the Ybor.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't had many runners in the Ybor, but he's
when Sesenta won it, he wasn't like a flat trainer.
No.
It was like, Sesenta just rocks him in the. Now he has 3 runners in a Ledger trial tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know.
Johnny, what's your take?
I'm going to be very boring here, but I just think I just love the way he won at Newbury. Travelled unbelievably well. Robert Winston said there's more to come from this horse after race, which I thought was an interesting thing to say because I don't think he wouldn't have that much knowledge of him. Just the way he quickened, and £8 to me doesn't look insurmountable. As Jukie says, he's well drawn.
He barely got in as well.
Just sneaks in. WP is a flat trainer. He's not bad, the kid. You know, he can train
he's
flat
okay,
horses.
he's okay.
And
one to keep an eye on.
Plunge of money, considering connections, Tony Bloom.
But the plunge has already happened, really, hasn't it?
And he wasn't, like, on track the last year, he wasn't massively well backed. Tony Bloom was probably like, I won't mind the prize money if he does actually happen to win, but, you know, he has Whiskey Sour in the race as well. Could easily have the first and second, you know, in the Ybor. But Stratham's an unexposed stare for Willie Mullins, 5-year-old. You know, he just travels great in his races. I like him a lot. And the 5 places as well. Don't be afraid to back him each way at 7-2.
Yeah, are you going to put something up against Stratham here?
If you force me to have a bet, and I won't be having a bet, I would probably back Whiskey Sour. He was too keen on Ascot. He had a brutal trip in Galway. I do think he's a well-handicapped horse, but he's not well drawn, but there's plenty of pace on here. So Buick might be able to get him across and find a reasonable position, and he has a turn of foot. I'd probably just plump for him, but nominal.
I had my first Whiskey Sour actually last Friday night. A lot to be said for it.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, just
went down well.
Nice mix of sweet and sour. Just that little bit of bitterness.
Like the name would suggest.
Absolutely.
Who are you going for, Shane?
I'm going to go with Weekender, a bit of a flyer. I mean, he's 12-1. John Gosden, would I be correct in saying he's never won this race? Or it's been a while since he's won it?
He'd never won. What
never won the
race during the week? He never won the week. Yeah.
Until Roar 9 won. But yeah, he's only been out of the first 3 on one occasion. That was on debut when he was very slowly away. And at 12-1 for a very good combination in Frankie and John Gosden, that'll do for me. 12-1.
Cool. I'll pop up Cedar Line each way. Let's move on.
Very likeable horse.
Love Cedar
Line. Be great for the Fahey yard.
Fan. Yeah, and the and Roy Cleary and the Cleary family as well involved in that one too. We're going to move on to Goodwood as well, and that Ladbroke Celebration Mile Group 2 contest. It's a kind of weird bit of scheduling because there's that 7 furlong race at York as well that Expert Eye is favoured at 3 o'clock. So kind of they seem to be cannibalising each other, these two. But anyway, how did they bet, Shane?
Yeah, beat the bank very short. I'm 11-8 favourite at the moment. Alton Order 4-1. Zonderland in at 11-2. 7-1 Stormy Antarctic. 12-1 A-Rod. 12-1. Oh, this is just 14's bar.
Quick selection, Juki.
A-Rod looks a big price to me.
I thought he was as well.
Yeah, Beat the Bank is worthy Fav, stable and formed, the best horse of the race, but he has a penalty. A-Rod should have the run of the race. I was just doing a quick tissue. I think I nearly had him second favourite, and he's 12-1, so each way dead 8 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the 8. Johnny?
Beat the Bank was 9-2 on the Sussex. Like, I couldn't believe how short he was. That was an absolute mess of a race.
Yeah,
We've spoken about Gustav Klimt at length, blah, 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 whatever about the muddling nature of the race. But despite his penalty, you know, he likes the track. Just looks the most likely winner. I won't be having a bet in that race. He's short enough, but the most likely winner. Okay,
let's move on to the Curragh. It is, of course, Long Irish Champions Weekend, trials weekend. And often these trials are, you know, not even trials. But this one, and particularly the ones on Sunday, are absolutely excellent.
Cracking weekends racing.
Yeah, the Comer Group International St. Ledger Trial Stakes. Only 3 trainers represented. Again, Willie Mullins heavily, but Aidan O'Brien too. What do you make of this?
4 Sons of Galileo.
Yeah.
Aidan has 4 Sons of Galileo in this. Willie has 3 horses in the race, and I'm going to tip Twilight Payment.
Okay.
Massive fan of the horse. Just dour stare. Just answers every call. It's quite grey as we look out on Dublin now. Any more rain will definitely suit him. He just stays. Not mad on Willie's horse, to be honest. Vernetti obviously mind of his own. The other 2 are probably limited enough in their own right.
Yeah.
Just you have that proviso about Aidan's horse at the moment. You know, they're pretty much all unexposed 3-year-olds.
Said during the week it's the worst buggy he's had in the yard.
Just like, and Shamie Heffernan after riding the winner in Clarny, he's like, some of them are, it reminds me of that Del Boy line, you know, half the stuff is nicked, half it's legit, but it's here so long I can't tell one from the other. Half them are running well, half them are running kind of a little bit better, but not quite there. So Twilight Payment, he's one of these horses that he's not flashy, he's probably going to be a little bit underrated in the market. I like him each way.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think there's a dead 8 in that as well. Juki?
Southern France. I like 3-year-olds in these staying races. I think the
second to Kew Gardens reads very well too.
Reads very well and was quite green that day.
Yeah. Went into the race rated 95.
Yeah, so it was a big step up. And I think he'll step up again. I'm not even sure he has to step up that much.
What about the Gardens run during the week? Got to be happy.
Yes.
Ledger trial.
If you're on for the Ledger, yeah.
It had trial written all over.
Yeah, with a £5 penalty as well.
Lump for the Ledger. Lump. Like this cannot be beaten.
Every single week.
Just a
genteel reminder.
Yeah. David Jennings said it at the start of the year.
Oh, well,
back
if he
for the
said
Derby
it,
and the Ledger.
yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And, you know, we can just ignore the first part of that sentence now. We'll edit it out. Right, let's move on to Killarney, because there's an absolutely brilliant race at Killarney at 4:20, the MSL Cork Handicap Chase, 2.5 miles for this one. And it's brilliant, isn't it? Alicia Dillon topping the rates.
Alicia Dillon. I love Killarney so much. When I'm going to Listowel next month, I'm staying in Killarney.
Oh, okay.
Love it. What a place. You know, you could die happily there, you know, by the lakes and the mountains after backing a winner.
Some scenery.
And some scenery. And the winner here, I believe, is going to be at the foot of the weights rather than the top of the weights. Steel Wave, trained by Willie Mullins. Dropping back in trip. Brennan the Blazers, I don't think he really stays. He's too keen to actually get the 2.6. Sneaks in bottom of the weights. Jumps well, will love the ground. Slightly better ground than it was at Galway. I think he's a good each way chance.
Dukey, anything for you in this?
Again, I thought it looked impossible. Maybe Alicia Dillon.
Yeah.
Back the best horse.
Speculative, yeah.
Well, I won't actually be backing him now. So I'm not sure that's worth it.
Just think in terms of your, you know, political career, you need to be a little bit more upbeat, like in front of the camera, like, you know, just put on a show.
Get it out there.
You know.
Yeah, but my constituency, I'm all about truth. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm gonna, because Pat Rabbit used to have that straight talking thing. I'm gonna have keeping it real.
Beauty is truth. AP O'Brien. Yeah.
Beauty, truth, beauty. Yes, that's Keats, isn't it?
It may well be.
Yeah, there you go.
There's another vote. Some poetry fan, you know.
Poetry fan. All right, let's move on to the Sunday action and that Long Beach Champions Weekend Trials Stakes. The debutante up first. This is one of the races of the weekend. Do you have prices?
Just a few tissues at the moment, Tom. I couldn't split them at the head of the market. Skitter Scatter, Lady Kaya and Via Diera with their own all at 92, 6-1 bar. Not much between them at the head of the betting, I don't think.
Juki, you like one here?
Oh, I like two.
You like two?
Nothing wrong with that, Juki.
Well, I think I can back both of them because Brian isn't riding Hermosa, so that should inflate her price slightly. So I can back her. She's a serious talent, good looking filly, but may not be the best looking filly in the race because Iridessa, who I was lucky enough, I was distracted by the mountains, by the beauty of Iridessa. That's a good looking.
That's a hell of an appraisal.
Very impressive specimen. Loads of scope. That race has worked out well. I'll back her as well.
Okay. And that Longines Irish Champions Weekend launch, Joseph O'Brien pretty much only
You were
mentioned
looking
one
for a
horse.
free watch here.
Yeah,
Like
but
two drop-in references.
The only horse Joseph mentioned at that launch was Iridessa.
By ruler of the world.
Yeah.
And probably his best progeny so far, I would have thought. They've been thinning off on the ground.
Considerable distance, yeah.
I was wondering about the form of the race, but the horse that was second, was done on the line in Killarney last night, and she looked special. Massive fan of Hermosa, though. She came into the dip. She came out the dip in Galway, and you're like, what's going to happen here? Bang. Yeah. And as Juki says, the boy Moore not riding means if you're going to back an O'Brien horse and you're a little bit wary of the form, at least you can back one at a bigger price, which she necessarily will be now. What a cracker of a race, you know.
This is brilliant. Skitter Scatter, Via Diera.
Skitter Scatter, I think, is rated 102. She ain't going to be favoured or near favoured.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, notwithstanding the fact that we're slightly worried about the form, I think Hermosa is a beautiful prospect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant racing. Obviously, looking forward to the.
But the superstar of the weekend is in the next.
Yes, is it Anthony Van Dyke?
It is. So this is what people need to go to
Galileo Irish Futurity Stakes second.
This is my
to look at.
Just very briefly, and Andy Post-Angle here. Currently 14s for next year's Derby at Epsom with Abrams.
I don't know what trip this horse wants because on the damn side there's loads of pace.
He's an awful lot of entries as well for the rest of the season. He's in the National Stakes, the Dewhurst, a couple of more races here as well.
He has all the fancy entries.
Yeah, well, so you'd imagine you take the Churchill route.
Yeah.
Go from here to the National Stakes, the Dewhurst.
This horse could be absolutely sensational. I think he should be back for the Guineas, to be honest. I think that's the logical start.
What's he around about 4 to 6 or so?
4 to 6 at the moment, Tom, on the tissue prices, yeah. And it's 4-1 bar.
Juki, can you see past the AVD?
Christmas in a 4-1.
AVD will be very HTB, Tom. I just like the way he rolls. He's inclined to hit a slight flat spot.
Yeah.
When the overdrive kicks in, he just powers.
That's where you're wondering about his trip, because over 7 he almost looks a little sluggish at times. But imagine him if he's travelling over a mile in the Guineas, you're like game over.
Yeah, when he comes out of the dip, yeah.
Very exciting horse.
We're projecting slightly here, but it's very exciting. Anyway, can you see past Andy Van Dyke? No. What would you back him for subsequently?
Guineas.
I'm
not sure on pedigree. Galileo horses can be can be very fast, like, and I'm not sure he'll get a mile and a half.
Okay, Juki, what would you back him for? Guineas as well? Or
I'd back him for the Derby. He looks like a middle distance horse, and the
14 to 1.
Right.
We'll have a little match bet on which race he finishes more prominently in the
I'm
Guineas.
sure, and
It has to run in both to for the bet to stand.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be elected, of course, if that's it.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
I owe the mayor a few bob.
Yeah, there you go. On to the Royal Whip at 340, and it's all about one horse here because it's the return of Verbal Dexterity. Juki, you have always been a fan of this fella, haven't you?
Yes, very likeable horse, and as Johnny said, a bit of rain about, so he should get some cut in the ground. He's always looked like he wants a trip. He has just a remorseless grinding style, and they found a really good spot for him here, I think. No penalty, and I mean...
You think Success Days could effectively sort of, he'll ensure there's a decent pace to it as well?
He'll ensure there's a decent pace, and I'm not sure he's at his best. Deauville is just an impossible horse to win with.
Wouldn't mind owning them at the same time.
No, that's true.
Or even just travelling around with him. You get to see all parts of the world.
Go to Deauville.
No, brilliant. They do a good lunch in Deauville.
Do they?
Yeah. So
Random.
I'd like
do
to
a good lunch, like for owners or just in general at the track?
Well,
or just in Deauville, the city.
I talked to an owner who'd been there, and he loved it.
A lovely track, apparently.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you make it one day as an owner.
He has made it as an owner.
Yeah. I haven't made it to Deauville. I've made it to like
Wolverhampton.
By the way, actually, I got to give an honorary mention to Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
So had a winner there, grand, whatever.
Did.
Low grade race. We're talking about the dregs here, like Ralph Wiggum's entry, right? So basically, during the week, Gavin Cromwell sends me this like WhatsApp. They send me a bottle of champagne, a photo of the horse, and two whiskey glasses for whiskey sour. Like, so I was like, this is a really nice touch. They treat their owners with a bit of respect.
Okay, that is cool.
And a photo of the horse, which because I was humming at home, do I want a photo of my first winner? And it was like a portrait photo of him, as if he was like, posing for a headshot photo.
Yeah.
Fair play to Wolverhampton. Like
for his
talking
stallion
about again?
profile.
Oh yeah, anyway, so Deauville.
The Royal Whip.
But I'd be actually mad against Verbal Dexterity here. You have the Bulger angle coming off a break, not exactly sure what
he'll be at the Pope as well.
Mile and two. Jim will be at the Pope. Verbal Dexterity might be at the Pope. I like Success Days here. Mightn't be at his best, but the rain, he could be hard to catch in front. He's pretty ground reliant, but he still can produce a good performance on sort of yielding. And Deauville, he just don't win, does he?
No, doesn't win often enough.
No, Verbal Dexterity is my lay of the weekend.
The lay of the weekend.
I think Jim was talking in a manner to suit the fact that he was trying to vocalised in regard to this horse being as good as the likes of Teofilo and New Approach, which he never was and never will be.
Okay, well, on that
Strong
note,
words.
Let's get some best bets for the weekend. Then, of course, Ladbrokes going best odds guaranteed in those multiples in shops from 12 to 2 every day. So go on, Shane, start with you. Best bet and give us a treble as well.
Best bet of the weekend is going to come in at the car, I should say, in the Futurity Stakes. I think Anthony Van Dyke's an absolute shoe-in, Tom. I haven't issued up before the 6, probably going to go off a lot shorter. That's my best bet of the weekend. I'm going to put it in a treble along with Weekender in the Ybor. Don't forget the 5 places each way as well. And finally, Arad at a bit of a price as well. And the Ladbrokes Celebration Mile at Goodwood 205.
Good stuff. Juki.
I will nap Southern France in the 325 at the Cara. And unfortunately, I scratching around for bets all weekend. It's fascinating racing, but I couldn't find many bets. So can I just do an each way double?
Yeah.
Well, I'll throw in Arad as well in the 205 good one.
You can do whatever. You could be mayor.
Yeah, you're going to be mayor, for God's sake. You do what you want.
I
Don't exploit the power too soon.
I know Tom likes consistency, and I am renowned for a Trixie.
Crazed Dublin voters elect, mayor on what's it called again?
Crazed is a very pejorative term.
Yeah, the
Travelator.
Travelator ticket.
Travelator ticket, I like
Could
that.
be a good name for a horse. More likely to run at Deauville. More likely to run at Wolverhampton than Deauville.
Yeah.
Johnny, give us a
Travelator ticket.
Cue the
Probably by
photo in the
some
post.
gaff stallion that's now standing in Turkey or South Korea.
Like Bushranger and then win it.
Bush, absolutely.
Go on.
Nap of the weekend is Twilight Payment. Yeah,
Okay.
really like the horse.
Yeah.
What price do you think it'll be?
I think he'd be an each way price anyway.
good
Yeah,
price.
5, 6.
5, 6 to 1, yeah.
We're going to throw in the Anthony, the AVD.
Yep.
And for us purists, UCD to beat CIE Ranch in the FEI Cup tonight. And Michael Mulvell is smiling. May he smile after tipping up Limerick at 1-4,
Yeah,
14 to
14
1,
to 1,
and
great
every
shout.
subsequent game they
Great
played
shout.
for the whole championship forevermore. He may smile. He won't be smiling after. Well, he will be smiling when UCD bolt up against the Ranch, trading at around 8 to 15.
You're due a decent winner now in the League of Ireland. Shell's disappointed you there. Was it last week or the week before?
There was
the
one
handicap?
of 3 selections, the other 2 won.
But on the League of Ireland front,
Was 5 to 1.
I don't know.
Always to beat Stramrock Rovers. 5 to 1.
Well, you didn't mention them to me. You just said Shells.
And do you know what?
You just said
3
Shells.
selections. Which one did I back? Lumped on Shells -1.
There we go.
That's because you're too much of a hipster.
Yeah, you need a
Love
thicker skin.
Shells.
If you're going to make it in politics, you need a thicker skin than that.
Let's wrap on that. My best bet of the weekend is Expert Eye at 3 o'clock at York on Saturday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week for more What's the Word.